In a world of multiplayer games, the single-player experience can get left out at times. Let's not forget, video games have told us great stories. And much like an interactive movie, the plots and characters we play as, or with, can make us excited to reach the next act. Hey Shackers, Greg here, and this week I'm counting down the top 10 games with the best stories. Now these are games that may not look the best, or have the best gameplay. We're talking about the characters and plot that make us want a film trilogy based on what we're playing through. Games where you can't wait to reach the next cutscene or chapters that progress the story forward. These are the stories we love and want others to experience. Now I'm not just looking at single games. Game franchises like the Mass Effect series is the same story told over the course of 3 games. So for all intents and purposes, gaming franchises can be considered as one story arc. Well, let's grab some popcorn and be prepared to see, read, and experience the top 10 games with the best stories. And warning, spoilers ahead.
You're only going to see what I want you to see. And I have quite a lot to show you.
What is going on?
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed.
Leave it to the Naughty Dog developers to deliver a powerful story-driven experience. The Last of Us takes you on a journey in a post-apocalyptic Earth ravaged by a spore-like fungus infection that turns people, well, into Naughty Dog's own version of zombies. But the real terrors don't come from these undead plant walkers, but from the people who live in this new world. From thieves to cannibals, the writing is so intense and real, it makes you wonder if this is really how people would act during the end of the world. From the set pieces, to the characters, to the world itself, to finally having the chance to set everything right with a cure for the greater good. It all came together beautifully in one spectacular, story-driven experience.
After all we've been through, everything that I've done.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it.
The end of the world is upon the good people of Ferelden, and it's up to you to defeat the Darkspawn with your team of adventurers. This fantasy adventure had you motivated at every turn, doing what's right or servicing your own selfish needs. The characters, side quests, and dramatic experiences that you and your team faced meant something. Shale's life before she became a golem, Alistair's right to be king, to Liliana's dark past. Everything was executed perfectly to make a grand fantasy adventure that only the Lord of the Rings trilogy could compete with.
You stick with me and I'll teach you a few things.
No offense, but I don't even know you.
My friends call me Sully.
Nathan Drake.
Between Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones, the Uncharted series has the best of both worlds. Compelling characters, awesome locations, and a story arc that takes place over a series of 3 games. Nathan Drake and his companions have seen and done it all. Fought terrorists, captured artifacts, and saved the girl. It's all in a day's work. But it's the clever writing and believable characters that really make the package. And it does it so seamlessly. It's a video game version of the Indiana Jones trilogy. No, that one doesn't exist. We don't acknowledge that one.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
The Halo series has become one of the most popular and in-depth stories of the Xbox universe, filled with rich history and characters. It's only one of the few rare games where the villains take up nearly as much as the spotlight as the hero. It's a world of gigantic proportions, in which you follow Master Chief to many different locations with a small cast of supporting characters. With a plethora of enemies, both known and unknown, the challenges that face Master Chief seem insurmountable, as he does everything he can to prevent the extermination of the human race. One of the best things about this franchise is the developers' refusal to show the Master Chief's face. Through 3 games and many hours of gameplay, the hero of the story remains anonymous for one very important reason, so the player can imprint the idea that they are the hero, they are the Master Chief. This subtle tactic helps to immerse you in the game, and every battle, every win, every loss feels all the more personal. As the series came to a close, the Master Chief ends his adventure the same way it began, in classic storytelling fashion, and he awaits the time where he is needed again.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down! We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer.
Originally thought just to be a survival horror zombie game where you just shoot anything that moves, and I mean that, just look at the original cover, no one expected the deep conspiracy and illegal activities of the Umbrella Corporation. Told through a series of journals, diaries, and other text-only elements, these simple tools were enough to make you feel hatred for the corporation that destroyed so many lives in the name of science. Being fearful of what you might expect, or having to backtrack through a corridor of zombies you haven't taken out, all dove you into the world of Resident Evil. Discovering Wesker's betrayal, finding your teammates dead, discovering Ada being a double agent, the original Resident Evil trilogy is a classic. Even despite the game's horrendous voice acting and cheesy live-action intro, the game still managed to captivate players into this world of undead bio-horrors, and establish a whole cult of followers who love the characters.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it? Maybe it's Chris.
From popular space operas like Star Trek to Firefly, the Mass Effect series is the equivalent in video game form. A spectacular main story about the extinction of all sentient life in the universe. The Reapers come to extinguish all intelligent life in order for other species to evolve. Commander Shepard, or FemShep as so many fans call her now, gathered a team of interesting and unique humans and aliens alike, all for the purpose of the greater good. Each teammate had their own story, own history, and own secrets, which made them feel all the more real. With commendable and epic set pieces, like rescuing your crew from the collector's ship, to facing off against a Reaper, to helping solve a civil war between 2 species. This is one of the most epic, well-told space operas in gaming history. I've been a fan for the comics for years, from the animated show to the classic Burton movies to the reboot Batman Begins. But man, if this game isn't everything a Batman fan wanted and more. Over the course of 4 games, it told a story and it did it damn well. Imagine everything you love about the Batman universe, crushed up in a ball and thrown into a machine that spits out a video game. The Batman Arkham series was the definitive Batman story. It had a huge variety of villains, explored origins, secrets, and the essence of what drives a great detective story: mystery. Anyone who is a fan of Batman should play these games. It's one hell of a ride.
Poor little bat.
Hello?
Going into something thinking it's one thing and getting another can have disastrous results. However, Until Dawn grabbed me by the arm and didn't let go. The characters, whether you love them or hate them, are written well. What you thought to be a slasher flick quickly escalates into something completely different. Now, I won't spoil anything here because the reveal of what happens is a great experience, something I don't want to ruin for anyone. Trust me when I say, this game has one of the most interesting stories I've ever played through. Doesn't get more adult than this. The Witcher series is known for having great stories, writing, characters, and adult situations. The world seems alive, and the people who exist in said world are interesting and charismatic. The dialogue is deep and meaningful. It's the type of game that targets adults, and gives these adults the due credit to follow complex plots, relationships, and characters. It's a video game version of Game of Thrones. Now, before I get to number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions.
To everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor.
There are few games that do such a damn good job with their backstories. But when the new age entrepreneur Andrew Ryan decides to build an underwater city free of limitations and rules, all hell breaks loose. Bioshock and its sequels are mind-twisting entertainment. From fighting your way through the city to try to get to the surface, to seeing the city from a Big Daddy's point of view, to seeing two doctors work together in different time periods collaborating on genetic reconstruction. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The majority of the game's story arc are told through numerous auto-diaries, making you feel sadness, anger, or pleasure from these characters who tried to play God, or just got caught in the crossfire between the civil war of Ryan and Fontaine.
Sutron, what the hell were you thinking? Drinkable plasmids? We're burning through 10 times the amount of atom compared to the injectables. And if you fail to notice, them sea slugs ain't exactly growing on trees. Switch back to the injectables and let the eggheads in marketing worry about selling it to the chumps.
If you want to discover the city's secrets, you'll have to dive deeper and find out what is really happening. Who is the false shepherd? What does AD stand for? Who are those strange twins that seem to help you along the way? Everything about these games is executed flawlessly, and at the same time, subtly. Twists and turns every which way, and following the story down, deeper into a rabbit hole of chaos and madness. Bioshock is one of the greatest stories ever told on a video game platform. What video game stories did you guys like the best? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to check out our top 10 playlist for more videos like this. And for everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.
Stop, would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?